Alright, YouTube, we got ourselves some dev notes. Generally, I wouldn't bother with this kind of stuff because, everyone can go ahead and read, but I actually got a little bit of pretty excited yesterday when it dropped. And I was only just now able to kind of come back and read. I wanted to, kind of talk about it a little bit because I thought it was really cool. A couple of things that we've got here. So, auto gathering is on the way, and that section soon, and we've actually getting some new summoner skills. So I thought that was really, and there's also those are the three kind of main things that I was kind of thought were kind of interesting. But the skills I wanted to got some gifts of them, kind of into this, and we'll have a look, right? So this is the April 5th Wednesday scheduled update for NA, right? So this isn't for C just yet, but we can expect this in the future. Now I haven't seen much on version of things for this stuff, so this is all mostly fresh for me. I haven't wanted to spoil myself too much, right? Or that much future content. So we've got Contana on the way for the NA version, and C will be a couple weeks. I think it's like a couple weeks for each update for C, so we'll catch up pretty quickly on C. That's one reason why I had to go through this as well, because I don't want to jump on my C on my NA account again. I just want continue with my C account and focus on that, because it is a lot to try and keep up with the game on its own, as well as other things I've got to get done, let alone trying to do 2 accounts, right? And just maintain them permanently. But yeah, Fontana, the Land of the Ancients, is coming to Chronicles. Features a new environment and new characters that have never been seen before, and concludes the journey of the Rahil Guard pursuing Tifo, who is in possession of the Argus Eye. So that's going to be apparently chapter 1 for the story. So pretty much that'll be pretty cool, I guess, like season 1 of the story. As Contana is added, content such as area exploration and repeat requests will also be added. A new field boss will also appear when Tyra appears, an interesting event occur in the field, so be sure to participate. Apparently that's the plant field boss, I believe, so a very stationary field. You can see here we're getting some transmogs for the fairy. Don't really know, I mean, I guess some people kind of care, but I mean, I don't know who's using fairy, regularly. I guess it'd be cool to have, but still. They have a video that you can go and see on their YouTube. If you go and look up the Summoners War Chronicle YouTube page, you can check out the dev story, now translated for NA and General English, down below. So that's pretty cool. And here is the first Summoner skill, right? And I thought this was cool because it says here, Summoner skill expansion. One summoner skill will be added to each of the water, fire, wind attributes, right? Now what I've noticed in these gifts is that the skill seems to be attached specifically to whatever hotkey, right? So let me see here if I zoom this in a bit more, right? So Orbia #1 fire meteor strike, right? So inflicts wide area damage centered on the enemy target and inflicts continuous burn damage in the area, stuns the burn target on hit. And if we have a look here, you can see that they're using skill 1 for this ability. So it looks like they're going to be introducing more skills and we'll be able to hot swap them. Because you can see that skill 2 and 3 here are the normal Orbia skills. And it looks like, now I don't know if this means that you can just swap any of the skills out, but yeah, I'm keen to see if you can swap out skill 2 for this skill or skill 3 for this skill, and mix and match your skills, or if it's these specific skill can only go in a specific slot. But as you can see here, skill 1 from Orbia is a meteor strike, and yeah, I'm really keen to see how this actually works and what they decided to do, because if summoners in the future, you just have a bunch of skills you can pick and choose from, and you can really customize your summoner using, I don't know, maybe you've got 9 different skills to pick from for each summoner. That'd be pretty sweet in my opinion. It's not too complicated, but at the same time, it allows for diversity of builds. I feel like that's really important for an MMORPG, because I got a pretty big background in World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, especially Guild Wars 1. Man, the skill selection in Guild Wars 1, literally thousands of skills. You've got 8 slots. Go crazy on your build, right? But yeah, so things like that I actually think are really good for a longevity of a game, as far as people might stale with their character, and with this you can mix and match and see how it goes, right? So again, we'll have to see how it goes and what they decide to do with it. But I feel like it's looking good. I feel like it's very promising so far, right? So skill 2, Water Frozen Ground, inflicts wide area damage centered on yourself twice, inflicts movement reduction and knockback on the first hit, and roots the enemy with a certain probability second hit. So if we zoom in here, we'll get a better look at it. Let me see. I think I can go up to like about 240. Ooh, oh, all the way to the bottom with my button press there. Bad. So there we go. We get a really nice zoomed in look. Skill use on the skill being used there. Right? Bam, bam, double hit. I really love the Frost Nova in a lot of games, coming from like Diablo and stuff. Frost Nova is a fan favorite. So let's just keep going from this zoomed in, I think. Wind Tornado inflicts damage centered on the enemy target 3 times, and the tornado moves for a certain period of time, dealing damage to nearby enemies as well. Inflicts additional shock damage, and if the target has more than a certain number of debuffs, additional damage that penetrates defense will be dealt. So I like the idea of Orbia getting an ability that penetrates defense. Also, I just want to come back up again quickly. You see that this is skill 1 again for Orbia as well. And once again, skill 1. So I do wonder if it is just for like that specific slot. Swap that, you swap them around, and then it changes it for all of them. It changes things up for all of them. Like all, it's still going to be slot 1, but for each element, it's going to be changed up to do a thing, right? Again, though, I think that'll be pretty cool. Now, I believe if you have a look, Kina is skill 2 instead. It's slot 2. So again, kind of interesting to me. Now her first one is Fire, Fairy's Blessing. Fairy, yeah. Applies continuous healing while stacking fire energy on yourself 3 times and grants recovery and accelerate skill cooldown reduction to summon monsters. So again, skill 2 still does the accelerate, but then you get healing recovery, or continuous healing, sorry. The 3 times is really interesting. I tried to zoom in here so we can have a closer look at just how many stacks they're getting, but it's just too blurry, right? Which, the quality being reduced, but the visual quality being reduced, I can understand. I just wish it was clear enough to get a really good look on the smaller buff icons there. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Kina goes as Fire with that one, right? That'll be pretty nutty, I think. Snow Day, so number 2 for a water ability, applies 3 stacks of water energy on yourself while inflicting movement speed and attack speed reduction to the enemy target. Heals allies and greatly increases the attack speed and hit chance of teammates with high attack speed. I feel like that'll be pretty cool. Once again, maintains the attack speed buff, but you've got that heal and it debuffs the enemies at the same time. I think her circles are a bit bigger too. This one here, I really like how it looks. So for the wind ability, Sanctuary of Life, heal allies while stacking the energy of wind on yourself 3 times. If the heal target is a summoner, amount healed is increased. So maybe really good for Battleground, perhaps? Or team-based PvP in general as well. Obviously, heals yourself more as well. Increases the accuracy rate of allies centered on yourself and grants immunity to teammates with HP above 6%. So, getting an immunity skill, perhaps. Similar to Shushu. I feel like that'd be very powerful. I actually really love the effect here. Have a look at that. Isn't that cool? It's like the greenery, the grass and the flowers coming out. I really love that effect. I'd love to see it in. I mean, I can't wait to see it in the actual game. Look how wide that's a big range. So I feel like that'd be really cool. Now, Cleave, Fire, Blaze, inflicts damage and burn effect to enemies in front of you, and if the target is a creature, the received critical damage increases. If you have heal over time, you can silence enemies. So if you've used your skill 3, you can then silence them with your skill 2, I think. Yeah. So there it is. So he uses skill 3 there first to get the regeneration. Then they immediately use skill 2. Now, skill 2 for Fire didn't have effects on it, I think. As here I am a Cleaf main. I never really cared for skill 2 Fire, put it that way. But now it looks like it might actually be very useful, especially in PvP. Like Fire Weapon in PvP, we may be seeing it banned a lot more often. over the other, like, you know, light dark choices that normally get banned. Personally, I always ban light because it's just such a pain in the ass, but that's me. I do like the received critical damage increases. So, crit rate, crit damage, cleave builds. That's catering to you. Number 2, water, frozen armor. This one looks cool. Grants the energy of water to oneself, reduces damage dealt from surrounding enemies, and freezes enemies with reduced attack power with a certain probability. While possessing the energy of water, there's a certain chance of freezing enemies that hit you. So while the shield's up, you have a chance to freeze your enemy. And look at this. Once again, it's a skill 2, and look at that floating shield around you. I think that looks pretty cool. I like the idea of having, like, it's a very visible buff. People are gonna know when it's up, put it that way. But yeah, you know, reduces the damage you take. I wonder by how much. And if you've reduced their attack power, which I think is skill 1, pretty sure, it can freeze the enemy. So that's when they hit you, I think. Let's see. Freezes enemies with reduced attack power with a certain probability. Oh, there it is. Right, so while, yeah, it can freeze enemies. So I think you can freeze them if they have reduced attack power, and you can freeze them if they hit you. I feel like that'll be very powerful. Because freeze can, like, if you've got that much crowd control going out, it could be very dangerous, like, to people in PvP. And wind boomerang. So the wind skill inflicts damage on enemies in front of you and instantly increases your defense by the number of hits. After that, additional damage is dealt in proportion to defense. Target is a creature, the final damage is increased. If your defense is above a certain level, a shield is applied to nearby allies excluding yourself. Now that is very cool, because we all know how dangerous shields are in PvP to begin with. So now Cleave's going to be rocking his own shield. So like, he already has a shield on his skill 1, and now he's going to be giving it to your monsters. I completely blanked on the word for a second there. With his skill 2. Now, I'm not really seeing, like, I'm seeing kind of the buff. I don't know if this is the shield. This second buff here. I feel like, oh no, there it is. It was kind of hard to see if it was the right icon when it went small size, but you can see when it kind of puffs up a little bit, you can see that it's definitely the shield icon. It comes into better focus. So yeah, Cleave's going to be rocking his own shield, won't be needing that Bastet Wusa toxic combo no more. He'll have his own to worry about. And funnily enough, if you think everyone using Water Vampire Hunter to get rid of shields and stuff, it's not going to be good on Wind Cleave. It's not going to be good against Wind Cleave, right? So interesting. I mean, obviously, Sekhmet, but still. Now, let me just zoom out a little bit. So we're not like right up in our faces again. So Path of Adventure expansion, of course. So there, once again, we're going to be getting the hard modes for Path of Adventure. So you can then farm 6-star runes. That's going to be another addition. It'll be pretty cool. And then materials for making new costumes for the based on the new region as well, going to be added. Which, I mean, they look alright. I don't mind them. Whole like yes, I'm not gonna say like tribal, but like it's like what I would expect from people that live in the woods. You know, like when I think of like elves and stuff, and I could see like you go into a fantasy forest and you rock up, and here's a bunch of like tree dwelling tribalistic living folks wearing garb like that. I clicked on it and it like upsized on me. Now, Rune Expansion and Rune Alchemy is going to be added. So, the way that they're making this work is that, I'll just read through it. The maximum rune grade star has been expanded to 6 stars and Rune Alchemy system added. We're going to get Destroy and Shield runes, which is pretty cool. Destroy has the effect of destroying the target's max HP by a certain percentage of the damage inflicted, so very handy for those heal comps, right? Constantly spamming the heals. Shield creates a shield with a certain percentage of attack at the start of battle and regenerates after a cooldown. So I think that's cool. The certain percentage of attack is kind of, it's a little off. Like I think that's supposed to be like certain percentage of HP, right? Because that's how they work in Sky Arena. So based on a certain percentage of your HP is generally how it works. You have the shield at the start. Once the shield's gone, it'll put itself back up. after a cooldown for this game, and Sky Arena, I don't think it comes back up with a cooldown. Yeah, so you can farm the 6-star runes in the hard difficulties, and then we'll obviously have some more dungeons to be farming for the runes as well. That'll be cool. More battle power is always nice. And then Rune Alchemy here is where things are going to get kind of interesting. So I believe your 5-star runes can be upgraded to your 6-star runes. So Rune Crafting crafts the desired runes by gathering materials. Replaces Rune Crafting that was an alchemy profession, right? So no longer in alchemy. You're going to be going here. Rune Succession. Part of a maximally enhanced runes. Applied effect stones and magic stones can be transferred to 6-star legend. So it says part of a maximally enhanced rune. The effect stones and magic stones. So this seems to be like maybe you can take your 5-star and everything to do with it can be transferred to the 6-star. So I'm gonna have to see that in practice exactly. But like it kind of sounds like you're upgrading your 5-star to a 6-star, but this part of a maximally enhanced rune. Right, so I'm not too sure about that. The applied effect stone and magic stone makes sense that you can transfer, but I'm not sure what's going on with the part of a maximally enhanced rune here, because obviously you've got your max substats and stuff like that. Like, is it going to be transferring the substats as well, or are we just talking the effect stones and magic stones here? Not being translated very well, right? Again, we'll have to wait and see. I assume the Korea version's probably got this, so maybe I'll look something up for that later. Rune combination. Obtain a new rune by combining 3 runes of the same star grade and rarity. Hopefully that's okay and not just trash. Rune disassembly. Rune disassembly, which is previously available in the rune menu, will be alchemy. Right, so can't just disassemble things on the fly, I guess. Or I think rune alchemy might be in your menu and still be able to do it on the fly. I'd hope so. I'd hate to have to go to like a crafting bench or have it carry one around and put it in a whole new menu, right? Other improvements, Expedition. A hard mode consisting of 1 level will be added to Expedition content, and the rewards will be increased accordingly. So that's pretty nice. Special Expeditions will be changed from 20 times a day to 7 times a week. That's already done. It says greatly increased rewards for each time. That's already done on the C servers, and the rewards are trash. Like I think they're bugged, because I did double check. I actually, in the very first week, I was one of the first people to clear stage 4 of Wind Arachne for Special Expedition. And it's dropping me like a little bit of gold in like 1 page. And I'm like, what's this trash drop, right? I don't know what's going on. I feel like it was a bug. I've done my 7 entries. And it was just pretty much the same drops for all of them. I went and reported it as a bug, so I don't know if it is a bug. I would think it's a bug because that's all I really get each week, 7 entries a week, and I'm just getting trash. So I have double checked my inventory, and yeah, I'm getting trash. So I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully they fix that soon. But yeah, through Special Expeditions, you can acquire various rare materials such as 6-star runes and flame hearts. That'll be very nice because flame hearts are pretty much impossible to get. You'd need them for your master rank up for professions. Not impossible, but like I ain't seen any yet on C, so put it that way. Oh, I've seen the low tier ones for like, you know, who cares? That's not what I need. Battlefield will be changed to a seasonal system. I have to see more of this when it drops. As the season progresses on a weekly basis, the rankings will be calculated according to the season. At the end of the season, depending on your rank, you will be rewarded with Skystones and crystals. Also, special ranks will be granted to summoners who achieve the highest rank until the end of the season. Additionally, you can check details about the opposing team, and you can also check whether or not you're in a party. Now, I'm not too hot on Battlefield to begin with, and I don't know if, like, I don't really care if it's being changed to a seasonal kind of system kind of thing, but, like, it doesn't change how Battlefield, like, it doesn't change the problems with Battlefield. Like, if the only way to level the shop for Battlefield is to kill enemy summoners, then that encourages people to just go and kill enemy summoners instead of focusing on the objectives because they want to rank their shop up, right? Now, if they change this so that it's both killing enemy summoners, mining minerals, capturing minerals, then you're looking pretty good, right? People can focus on whatever they want or need to and still rank their shop up so that they can go and purchase those Devimons because that's what they're after, right? So hopefully they fix that, and it's not just this seasonal system change thing or whatever they got going on there. Hopefully they've, you know, addressed the core issue, right? Galagos Ruins will be improved so that you can choose your own restrictions on summoners, monsters, and creatures, except for team formation in magic order. The higher the difficulty of the order you choose, the greater the rewards. So that is going to be kind of a hit or miss on. I'm going to assume like maybe it's better to pick a lower difficulty and full clear than it is to pick a high difficulty and partial clear. Have to see how that works when it drops, because I'm gonna assume that C is gonna get the updated version of this stuff, right? So NA is gonna get this update, and then by the time it drops for C, they'll have worked out the kinks for sure, and you know they're gonna drop it as is C, right? Now gathering, here's the good stuff, right? Lizardman's working hard and helps the summoner in mining and gathering, but it seems to be lacking. Therefore, for the convenience of our summoners, an automatic gathering mining system will be added. The number of automatic gathering mining per day will be determined in proportion to the summoner's account level. So it does look like we are going to be limited to the auto amount that we can auto gather. I am wondering if Lizardman is staying as well. So maybe we have both Lizardman plus auto gathering, which I think will really help fix it. I think that the only real downside that we had for Chronicles, for like the casual players and everything, is that we had no auto gathering to begin with. Because we can order everything else, right? So why no order gathering? It didn't make sense to me, right? So I'm glad to see that they're putting this in, especially with the amount of minerals and stuff that you do need for alchemy and crafting gems. You know, for people that can't farm all day, every day, that kind of stuff, this is going to be the thing that will help keep them around, right? They might, you know, a lot of people didn't want to keep playing because they were like, I don't want to go mining things. I want to play game and do the fights. I don't want to log on for like 3-4 hours just thinking away at mining nodes, right? And that's fair. So I'm glad that they're putting that in, and people can just pop it up, let it AFK farm when they're busy doing something else, right? Others, Skystones will be added as support rewards for elite raids. Very cool. Improvements will be made so that summoner, I mean, we do need the Skystones, right? Improvements will be made so that the summoner weapon attribute can be changed on the monster team formation screen. Handy. After completing the challenge arena, you'll be able to select your opponent immediately. This will allow quick battles without extra map loading. Also very nice. Now, that was the April 5th update. That's coming in a few days, apparently. And April 19, Wednesday schedule, so later in the month, we're going to get the Guild Town. Look at this. Isn't that cool? Let me zoom that out a bit more. Oh, I zoomed in. Oh, wait, where'd we go? Where's it gone? There it is. Okay, there we go. We can see like the whole picture. This is kind of cool, right? Kind of cool. All right, let's zoom back in. How do we get there? Okay, so Guild Town's going to be added. Guild members can gather and participate in various guild-related convenience features. You can access it at guild level 5. The entrance to the Guild Town will be activated, and you can move there from the home menu. So you can teleport in there from opening guild on your hit escape main menu. Easy peasy, right? We're going to have the hot spring, a fishing ground, and an explorer. Now, I think that's the Lizardman Explorer, as well as other guild-related functions. So I assume that saying Explorer, and if it's going to be the Lizardman Explorer, then I'm going to assume that the stick around once auto gathering's in, so you'll be able to do both the Lizardman and auto gathering, which would be pretty cool, I think. That'd be really handy. I feel like you could use the Lizardman for farming things like the Cobalt and stuff, which is hard to get, right? Because you've got to ink away a lower chance to get on your nodes, and then you can like use the auto gathering and mining for the other stuff like iron, silver, gold, etc. Right? Stuff that's guaranteed. At the fishing spot, you can catch fish that can only be obtained through field events, and you can also search for fish through the Explorer. Oh, that's pretty cool actually. That you can maybe use an Explorer to go catch fish. Forgotten about that part. But yeah, I like the idea of being able to get fish, like the Calm macro, which you need for master rank, right? For your professions. Hopefully you'll be able to get those fish from there, and that'll make life much easier, right? You don't have to make sure you're participating in these timed events, because that is a big thing. A lot of people can't just be online at a certain time of day for that kind of stuff, and so they miss out on this stuff. Yeah, and they, you know, they'll get hard stuck on something like Master because they can't be there like for one of the 3 times a day, once a week event, right? So that'll be really good for them. Let's see, various elements such as decorating functions will be provided in the future. Very cool. We hope you gather at Guild Town and have a good time with the guild members. New monster transmog for Occult Girl and Mystic Witch. I do like Mystic. I like them quite a bit. They get they're very underused though, other than for like initial progress. Now this one here is pretty big. This shares skill points within your account, right? This one is really big. So skill points will be shared with all characters on your account. Skill points acquired through leveling up will be applied based on the character, with the highest skill point among the characters on the account, in the account. So I think that's really cool. So it sounds like if you've got like a level 40 Kina in Cleef and your Orbia is like level 60, it seems like you'll have the same amount of skill points for your level 40 and Cleef and Kina that you do for Orbia. So you have 60 skill points instead of 40, or, you know, something like that, right? And then points acquired using skill books will be applied to all characters as much of the number of points used per account. So if I've got 100 skill points and I've put them all into Orbia, then the other 2 characters will also have those 100 skill points, is my understanding. And if the points exceed the points that can be acquired with the skill book, the excess amount will be returned to the skill book. So this is like, if you've already fully skilled up all 3 characters, you're going to get 2 characters worth of skill books back, basically. Which I think's really cool. Because then you can turn those skill books into something else using alchemy, right? Let's see. So another way of looking at this is if you have like 20 skill points, if you have 20 skill books put into Orbia and 20 skill books put into Cleef and then 20 skill books put into Kina, you're going to get the extra 20 from Cleef and 20 from Kina for Orbia as well, and vice versa. So the Orbia and Kina will also be on Cleef, and the Orbia and Cleef will Kina and what you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. I'm starting to confuse myself. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like basically, however many skill books that you have used, period, all of your characters should be able to access that amount of skill book. So that'll be pretty cool and much easier for when new summoners come out. For much easier to build those new summoners. So looking forward to that one, definitely for C. Because right now I'm still actually sitting there and holding onto my skill points myself. Now, other improvements: combination. Scope of application of the combination system will be further expanded. From 5-star or higher legendary grade, you can combine 3 pieces of equipment to obtain 1 piece of equipment of the same level. And you will obtain the same type of equipment as the main material. Galaxy stones, magic stones, and effect stones can be combined in a similar way to existing gems. And like gems, high grades can be attained on great success. So I'm glad to see that we can finally do things like galaxy stones, magic stones, and effect stones, right? And I also like the idea that you can combine 3 pieces of some trash legendary gear that you've picked up and turn it into a similar piece and hopefully have better substats or something like that, right? So that'll be nice. Now the Autoclear function here. The Autoclear feature will be supported in Essence Dungeon, Path of Growth, and Expedition content. I think that's going to be a really good addition because we're going to need to save time. As more stuff comes out for the game, we need to save time in other areas, right? So after successfully clearing 10 times, the difference between the required combat power is more than 40%. You can immediately obtain rewards by consuming an Autoclear ticket without battling. Now, the Autoclear tickets I'm a little worried about, right? The Autoclear tickets will be added as a daily task and as a reward for the Summoner Pass, and will be applied from the next season after the current season ends, so yada yada, right? I'm just worried about how many Autoclear tickets are we going to get, right? Because I feel like we should just be able to quick battle these encounters and it's done. I don't think we should need to worry about the Autoclear tickets at all. I don't think we should have to fuss about getting an Autoclear ticket. I think we should just be allowed to quick clear, just like we do for PvP. Boom, quick clear, done. I don't think we should have to worry about the Autoclear ticket, because if they don't give us enough, then we're just time, right? I mean, I can kind of understand it if like we farmed up a whole bunch of extra entries. Maybe just make it so you can quick clear, like let's say they give us, you know how they give us 6 entries for Path of Growth each day at the moment? Make it so you can just quick clear 6 entries. If anyone wants to refresh with gems or go in there with extra dungeon entries, they have to farm it normally. But for the daily stuff, just make it so that people can quick clear for that amount of entries, in my opinion. Don't worry about the auto tickets, just be like bam, bam, bam. Though I can understand maybe people want to save auto clear tickets and then just like knock out like 30 dungeons at once or something. I can understand that too. Maybe have both, right? But we'll have to see just how many auto clear tickets they give us first, I guess. Now the pick ban is changing for Brawl Arena as well. So in the past, each person gets 4 monsters and you ban 1 monster, right? Also, it's like, let's say I pick Sekhmet, now the other person can't pick Sekhmet. Okay, so that's how they kind of make it work, right? Now for this one, what's being changed is they're going to have a total of 5 monsters to select from. We ban 1 of the monsters, and then we have to select 3 of the remaining 4 monsters. So let's say I pick Sekhmet, Taeor, Chloe, Lulu, and Shan, right? They ban 1. Let's say they ban Shan, and then I have to pick, you know, out of the 4 left, I can pick 3. So I'm probably gonna pick like, you know, Taeor, Sekhmet, and I don't know, either Chloe or Lulu. Now I can have 2 healers there, 2 tanks, and a DPS, and just see how we go, right? I do wonder where that decision came from, but I do think it's gonna make life fairly easy for people when they're trying to build a team to go into arena with. Right? That way you can't. It's not like, okay, we've selected 4. I got 2 DPS, a healer, and a tank. Oh, they banned my healer. Oh, I'm effed. No, you know, with 2 healers, 1 DPS, and a tank, and they banned the DPS, and now I've got no DPS. You know, it's things like that. I suppose it'll make life much easier for building a team that is relatively actually viable, right? So we'll have to see how that goes. I do not like PvP in Chronicles because I think it's a little rigged in some ways. I think there's some behind the scenes things going on, but I can't prove much of anything, so it is what it is, right? The AI is also incredibly stupid, so let's leave it there for now. Others, the rank of most used monsters will be displayed on the dungeon entry screen, and when selected, you can move the statistics screen to obtain information on clearing the dungeon. After a party dungeon ends, a button to return to the waiting room will be added so that you can continuously with existing party members. Very handy. A function to display the health bar and buffs debuffs of party member summoners and monsters will be added. When using this function, the frame rate may drop slightly, so it is recommended to use it only on devices with a certain performance or higher. Have a good PC or else. Basically, a function will be added to re-challenge even if you lose and repeat battles. So this is what I actually thought we were going to get on C like right away, and I've been wondering where it was and hoping for it. So I'm going to be very glad when we finally get this one. Is actually absolutely huge, and it's just sitting here at the bottom under others as like a 1-line note, right? But yeah, this, because I think a function being added to re-challenge things once you've lost is actually huge, because right now if you try and set and forget like 100 dungeon entries and you've failed on like number 20 and you're out for like for like a couple of hours or something, you come back, you've still got like 80 dungeons to go, right? Like you know, and you're like, oh fuck, now I gotta use all these entries, and you know, it's just it was very confusing to me that they didn't have that to begin with. To be completely honest, I was like, why isn't this in to begin with? It's been in all of their games so far, pretty much, right? For where it needed to be encountered. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad we're gonna finally see that, right? And yeah, details of the content mentioned as developer note above can be found in the update notes that we post in the future. We hope you look forward to all the content that will be added to the game, as we will always communicate and work hard as your Chronicles team. Thank you. Personally, I think the Chronicles team has been so good at like because I played Sky Arena, I played Centauria, I played Skylanders. I've played a lot of Commodores games, right? And the way that they've gone about, like the way that Chronicles seems to have gone about things so far has just been perfect, really. I mean, not like perfect, but it's like, it's just been so like refreshing to play a gacha game. The PvE is fun. It's simple, but there's also like challenges. Like it's challenging enough, right? Like it's simple enough to play on mobile, but it's challenging enough to keep a PC gamer, like someone who generally mains PC games like myself, engaged. So I've been enjoying that a lot with the PvE content. Once again, the PvP content I think needs a lot of work so far. I think it's very difficult to balance things well. Like for example, just shield spamming and heal spamming, and just absolute toxic and cancerous in PvP. Just trying to get through a shield, like it's just so insane sometimes. But even with like when you've got strips, beneficial effect block, and all that kind of stuff, but you're just getting blasted by like a single DPS while they spam shields, and it's impossible to kill something because of the tanky support just absolutely ruining your DPS output and so on and so forth, right? Like there's so much that kind of needs tweaking and stuff for balance, I feel like. But I think that eventually they'll get there for sure. And again, like 6-star runes hopefully will help a lot more with like DPS units and stuff. Because at this point, supports just dominate. Like if you go in there with a DPS comp and you're attacking supports, you're gonna have like the summoner just obliterate your team while they're being supports, right? So things like that. Obviously, Battlefield is a little bit different. It's the one-shot meta, so I don't know how it works out. That you can't do the same thing in Brawl and stuff as you can in like Brawl and regular arena as you can in Battlefield. Why can I run around one-shotting summoners in Battlefield like super easily, but I can't do it in arena and Brawl? I think it comes down a lot to the AI and who to target and stuff, right? In Battlefield, we can obviously single out somebody, but in a Brawl, they kind of do their own all the time. But yeah, and just the communication's been great. When people have had complaints and stuff about certain things, or you know, the community managers are playing the game, they're relaying things back. Like it seems like this is one of the first games where it really feels like they're playing their own game and they're experiencing the same difficulties that a lot of the players are experiencing, and they're like, okay, this needs a little bit of tweaking, this needs a bit of an update, change up, you know, things like that. And yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to go over this, because I'm excited for the new skills. I'm excited for the actual the fact that the updates all seem to, like, you know, when other Comdos games, a lot of them have been like hit or miss kind of thing, but a lot of the updates there's just these constant quality of life improvements, right, when it comes to Chronicles, and that's something I really like about it. And just yeah, I'll have to see how it keeps going, and this video is going on super long, so I'll cut it here. Hope you guys didn't get too bored and you found the what's on the way quite interesting, because I really like this developer note, so that's why I wanted to cover it this time around. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one, and yeah, peace.